Although I cannot show the footage on stream because Take-Two doesn't want your boy LexxExpress to talk about WWE 2k23. They don't want me to. They don't care if I talk about it. They just don't want me to show it. So I can't show it. But I'm gonna link you guys to SmackTalks because he uploaded a 17-minute video showcasing many entrances here, and we're gonna discuss just about all the ones that are listed in his video, which he has it broken down by chapters. And before we get into that specific video, I want you guys to look up on YouTube in general. Rhea Ripley, Stunner. We were talking about Rhea Ripley in the chat.
Bro.
Man, night and day. What they did with her, from the hair physics to the expressions and the attire that she was rocking for Judgment Day. Outstanding work.
Yep.
Did you see a Rhea Ripley, Trout?
I think I saw one picture, but...
You got to the entrance, Trout.
Yeah, you got to see it, man. It's worth noting. It's worth talking about. It was spectacular, and
he even got the little Judgment Day.
Yes,
little, the little nameplate.
The nameplate, and she comes out with the Judgment Day as well in another screenshot that we saw with Finn Balor and Damian Priest in the background. So that was a major boost. That was a major boost for Rhea Ripley. And then another big piece of information was the double championship entrance for Roman Reigns. Now, it felt a little generic and it felt a little off because it's not synchronized with the soundtrack. It's not really synchronized with any pyros. They should have added pyros to it. I really think that they gave us a very standard bare bones Roman. But hopefully, down the road between now and launch, we get to see him come out with Paul Heyman. And perhaps the Paul Heyman entrance is the one that Paul Heyman hands him the belt and he's wearing the other one. We really don't know yet.
I mean, we know they announced the Undisputed. They said that, so we know that.
Yeah, so it's cool that they announced the Undisputed, so that's cool. So we saw him. We talked about Bobby Lashley already. Bobby Lashley, same model, same animation, but the lighting and the pyro here, we're talking about the entrances that were showed yesterday. Bobby's like his skin tone and all that, like you could tell that it changed up with this new game and the lighting, obviously, and he did get the nameplate too, so that was cool to see.
Went crazy with the baby oil. And
then yeah, he did. And then we had Drew McIntyre, which definitely has a carbon copy version of the one with the sword. But the thing about that is that was amazing. It was well worth bringing back, and I'm glad they did. Because ultimately he still does it in real life. He still has done it at like pay-per-views and in the big matches. So I don't have an issue with him still having that. The fire, the pyro, again, all those things add layers of detail that just weren't there in the previous year. And then a standout character that we saw in that same video, Stunner, that we're talking about, Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker. Oh, man, when you hear the siren and he's coming out screaming, I was just so hyped to see how he looked, and they got his attire down pat. They got the championship entrance, the motion, the scream. What more could you ask for from someone who's in NXT who he hasn't even been called up to the main roster, and they put in that much effort into Braun Breaker? That was outstanding.
Yep. They
treated him with a lot of respect, which I just wish they would have brought that same kind of respect to some of the other superstars I love, but it is what it is. And then we had Seth Rollins with the. It's not the same black leather. It's not the same black jacket that we saw in 2K22. So that was cool. It's actually one of the attires that he wore. People were saying that they scanned him at a house show, and that's why he's rocking that one, which is something that he wore in 2022. I don't remember what month now. Obviously, I know. I'm sure you guys keep track of all that, but it is one of his more. November he wore it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it is one of the more modern attires that he's wore in recent memory. I like it. It's not the most recognizable one, but it is one of the ones that I like the most. You know, the different colors in the trunks and all that, or the tights, should I say? I thought that was really good. So they had him doing the serenading the crowd stuff. They had the new motions. I thought that, wow, we finally get the proper Seth Rollins entrance. And giving it that next-gen feel with the reflections and all that, it really made it feel genuinely authentic. So I like seeing that as well. And then Cody Rhodes, we've talked about him already plenty. Cody Rhodes is the easy standout from the bunch, not only because he's a new character, but they worked like so hard on making him look the way he did. Like, you could tell, man. He looks ridiculous. He looks ridiculous. So Cody Rhodes, 10 out of 10 intro there. But one of the more surprising ones in that video and that bunch was actually Kurt Angle. Believe it or not, Kurt Angle didn't get the old Kurt Angle scan, and they just put his old face on the new one. They worked on his face. He did have the amateur wrestling ear cups. He has the actual medal from that iteration where he faced John Cena. It was really cool to see them work on Kurt Angle and put in that much effort into him as well, who's returning to the series. And I was really desperate to play with him in 2K22, so I'm happy that not only is he in the game, but they gave him that star treatment, and he just looks outstanding. Another model worth noting. And then we're getting into, how about the Edge model? That one with the short hair, bro. I feel kind of bad because Edge is looking real old, but that's just how he looks like. That's what he looks. Yeah, in real life, his face looks like kind of like when you throw away the newspaper and it looks all wrinkled and shit. Like when he does all those facial expressions, like they were able to capture those mannerisms. And
old as hell, dog.
Yeah, he's looking old, man. But hey,
I have to change that song to "On This Day I See Blurry."
On this day I see blurry. But we get him hyping up the crowd again, and the smoke never looked better. So really happy with the Edge update there. And then we could kind of skip over the Brock Lesnar because it was damn near identical, except for when he gets close to the ring that he doesn't have the smiling face anymore. He doesn't smile. He just walks around the ring looking pretty serious. And then they also showcase in that same video Kofi Kingston, which Kofi Kingston he looks great, man. You could tell that they didn't want to mess them up because Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, they gave them the main event treatment. From the attire to the Titatron to the motions, everything looks just spectacular. And then, is it me or RVD? Doesn't he look a little better than he did in 2K22? He
looks way better. Hell yeah.
Yeah, because some people were saying that they weren't too happy with the model that they have in the game, but
he looks way better.
I thought that he looked better.
I've noticed whoever is put into the showcase always gets like special attention.
Yeah, they give them an extra boost. You're right.
Like on their character, like how they look.
Definitely worth noting, and they also get multiple attires, which is always cool to see. Roman Reigns, we talked, and then John Cena. John Cena, he has the outdated Titatron, unfortunately, but he does have the new gear, and John Cena's John Cena. They're not gonna mess that up. It's very hard to mess up that guy. If you mess up that guy who's in the showcase and they have a bunch of versions of him, I mean, the game's doomed.
And John Cena looks like a typical white guy too, so he's not that hard to make.
They got him the typical freaking structure, right? The mold.
Yeah.
So every superstar that we just covered, except for Rhea Ripley, that's in the Smack Talks 17-minute video. I am linking it. All right, guys. So I'm gonna put it in the chat box again. It's gonna be there for you guys to ultimately, for you guys to ultimately check that out on your own and go through with it and come back to the stream or to the actual video where we're discussing this. I think that it's worth noting some of these entrances, despite having those animations, again, they gave it that new environment to make it pop even more than before. So it's a more realistic experience, whether the person got touched up or not. The tones are there. Other superstars worth noting, which I'll talk about in another video, along with Rhea Ripley, was like they also showcased Charlotte, and other females like Becky Lynch, which I saw you mention here, Woke. They got the Becky Lynch heel version of her. Bailey I saw as well. So those are other superstars we're going to cover. Great. Yeah, she does.
And she got the damage control attire. So that's cool.
Yeah. So they updated her too. So look out for that video, which we're going to clip here on the stream live.
Is your ass proportion?
They did a good job. We'll keep it at that. They did a good job with Bailey. They got everything right for her 2K23 model for sure. So let me know how you guys feel about these entrances in the comment section, and I'll see you on the next one.